A new report of the European Union of Asylum Agency shows that there is a 7-year high in asylum application. Last year, a record number of 1.14 million migrants applied for asylum in the European Union. To give you an idea, that is an 18% increase of the previous year. 1.14 million is a record number since 2015 plus 2016, when the migration crisis took place.
Today with me in the studio is Peter Klippe, editor of Bricks Europe. Welcome. Peter, 1.14 million asylum applications. What is the reason behind this increase?
Well, that's a lot. And indeed, it's an all-time high, taking into account that this does not even include the 4 million people from Ukraine that Europe is sheltering. What's the reason? I think mostly the fact that, the country number 3, of which most people come, is Turkey. And President Erdogan there has won the election last year and is becoming ever more authoritarian. So many Turks are...
100,000 applications from Turkey.
Exactly, to Germany.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any other countries? Where do the most other refugees come from?
Well, number 1 and 2 are Afghanistan and Syria. Afghanistan, of course, where you had the takeover of power by the Taliban that is now terrorizing the country. And Syria, where you have the sad situation that is continuing, the regime cracking down on the population.
You know, for years we've been talking about the fact that there's been a massive increase of the amount of migrants coming. This year it was an increase of 18%. Can we conclude that our politicians lost control on the migration crisis?
I think so. If you look at the data, only 1 in 4 people that are denied residence in Europe, that are told to go back to their country of origin, only 1 in 4 actually end up going back to their country of origin. So you don't have to be a genius to understand that this, of course, stimulates many people to pay human smugglers to try to make it to Europe while risking their lives.
Yes, and the human smugglers is a massive problem. What could be a solution to solve it?
Often politicians are claiming that, oh, this is all impossible and we're doing what we can. But the truth is that we have the example of Australia that managed to more or less stop illegal migration completely. And the way that Australia did that was to make sure that if you try to enter illegally into the territory of Australia, you are not being rewarded with the ability to stay there, like in Europe. So Australia has a deal with neighboring Papua New Guinea, and it really manages to square the circle, because Australia still offers people the right to apply for asylum in Papua New Guinea, while at the same time protecting their borders.
And we also hear that within Europe, they're thinking about a similar solution. So, for example, the UK is actually already debating whether they should household refugees in Rwanda. There was a sort of similar trial in Denmark. Could you elaborate on that? Should we follow the lead of Australia?
I think we should absolutely try to do that, and indeed the Rwanda approach is similar to what Australia has been doing, so let's hope the UK pulls it off. Denmark has abandoned its attempts to do that, simply because Denmark enjoys an opt-out from EU migration policies. So unlike other European member states, Denmark was able to drastically restrict family reunification. But indeed, we need to look at the Rwanda approach. And interestingly, Italy has now just agreed a deal with Albania. And the idea is to bring people that enter Italy in an illegal way to Albania, where they can still apply for asylum, but they are not rewarded with access to EU territory before they have received a yes to their asylum request.
Yeah, because what you're doing now is making a very clear distinction between the migrants that come here illegally and those that come here legally, that are actually coming to Europe to seek safety as they're fleeing from war. And on that note, I would like to end it, because we need to keep this conversation going. We need to prevent another migration crisis from happening.